BornAMusician.com is an online digital distribution service designed to sell your music on 150 digital stores worldwide, including Amazon.com and iTunes, making BornAMusician.com the largest music digital distribution service today.
Now, here's award-winning host and best-selling author, Jesse Dillon.
This is Jesse Dillon. You are coast to coast, worldwide, dialed into Good Life Revolution. And you can find it all the radio stations where we're broadcasting from on our website at goodliferevolution.com. We're swinging down to Tampa, Florida. John Seda is my guest. You're going to be hearing some amazing music from this man coming up. He's created something called BornAMusician. John, first of all, a little bit about your background.
Well, I've been playing music pretty much all my life. My mother taught me how to play guitar at a very young age, and at the age of around 15 or 16, I started playing with some professional Latin jazz players and salsa bands when I lived in Puerto Rico. And then from there, I took it on and developed to do a lot of live performances with a band. And as the years went by, I became a studio owner, recording studio owner. And pretty much where I'm at right now is that during the years of being involved heavily into music, I realized that there was a need to support artists to make money. It's always been this conception that the artists have never been treated fairly, and as you can tell, in the last 15 years, everything kind of has gone independent. And because of the change of platforms, it kind of opened the door to a lot of different things that sometimes have nothing to do with great talent, but the venue is there open for anybody to expose their talent. And what happened, in my opinion, was that they started promoting the idea of free music, and that kind of, with the feel behind it, that free music will mean that you might get rich from it. But the truth is, if you give away your music for free and if you perform for free, then what do you make money from? So I'm a big supporter of the arts in the direction of that artists should make money, and I believe that there should be re-education in music. Artists are brought up somewhat to believe the myth that we do it for the love of art, and it's true up to certain points, but if you're playing a venue and that venue is making money, then the artist should make money too. And so what we did is we developed BornAMusician.com, which started a few years back, and we came up with different conceptual ideas that are now a reality that help musicians to make money. And we do things, we go the extra mile to help artists to promote their music, which no other site is doing. And in the future, we're going to get involved in productions that will be commercials, but they'll be oriented to help the artists promote themselves. And at the same time, we benefit from it, the artist benefits from it, and we don't want nothing from the sales. Basically, what we want to do is help that artist to make money, and then we'll make money from doing our subscriptions and our services that we offer. So it'll be a win-win situation for both. And we feel that this is kind of the future of the new way to do music versus the approach from the past that was the artist would get signed and never see any residuals from their sales. We want to do the opposite. We feel that one of our mission statements, or a statement that we strongly talk about all the time, is that we want to enhance a musical economy. And what we mean by that is that if artists are making money, then they spend money buying clothing, their lighting from the show gets paid, sound guys, the money keeps on going around. And I think it's been in the past that only certain individuals were getting these big chunks of money, and it never really spreads out. And we feel that strongly that by pushing this vision that we have, that it's going to actually help the country because it's going to create jobs. And I think that, and it goes back to what I was saying before, the misconception that music is supposed to be for free and it's not a form of making money. Well, it was $1 billion business before, and it's starting to come back to it. It went straight for a while. But I think we can even double that, what it was before. I think it's just a matter of the mindset. And and to understand that there's nothing wrong with business, because artists always tend to shy away from the thoughts of talking about business. But the truth is that's what they do it. That if they're going to perform in a big stage or in front of a big audience, which we're paying tickets, that then they need to do the math, just like they do the math when they're playing their notes on their musical instruments.
John, you're a musician. You're doing a lot for for fellow musicians. BornAMusician.com is a great idea. Love it. Looks like you've got 150 stores worldwide and 720 digital stores. And I encourage people who are singing these days to visit BornAMusician. I got to think.
Can I just correct that just 1 second? What happened was we were 150 digital stores as of a week ago, and we went up to 720 digital stores. We don't have physical stores. We have digital stores. I just want to make that clear. And 380 of them are mobile stores in Japan.
Wow.
And we're in Hong Kong, Macau, Taiwan, Vietnam, Japan. We're the first company on the mainland that will be able to translate, because what happens in Japan is that they wouldn't accept foreign music, as they would call it, before, because it had to be translated, and there was no means of doing it. But I'm very lucky. My wife is Japanese, and so we have a team of translators over here, so we're going to be able to translate all these bands to be able to put them in the Japanese market and open up their doors to new things.
Love it, man. Listen, I'm going to take a break in just a moment. I want to come back and find out about what you're doing for kids and school and music, because as budgets are being cut and have been cut all around North America and the rest of the world, music's one of the first programs to go. And we know some interesting statistics here at the Good Life Revolution about how important music is for kids. So let's come back and talk about that in just a moment. But first of all, lead me into this musical that you've written. You've sent us a couple of songs. One is called Teach the Dream and Born into Pain. I'm going to play Born into Pain in just a moment. But tell me a little bit about it. Set it up for me.
Well, Born into Pain it's an interesting story. It started off, and it is really, really dark in a way, because I was approached many years ago about a lady who wanted me to write a song for a drug rehab center. And what happened was there was an epidemic, this was back in 2004, around there. There was an epidemic of mothers smoking crack. And she said, can you write a song about that? Because she knows I'm a good theme songwriter. If you give me a theme, that's kind of where my strength is at. And I said, wow, that's really okay. But I couldn't say no to it, because I said, this is a challenge, right? So I took about 2 weeks of just every day thinking about it, and finally it hit me. And what it is the song is about a baby talking to God in heaven and saying, why am I going to be born this way? And one thing led to the other, and we started writing a script for a movie, and it's going to be about a child that is going to be born into the pains of addiction, but he's going to overcome it. He helps his mother, and he grows up to be this famous musician that goes through the trials and tribulations of what a lot of musicians go through, except he's kind of a God-sent kid, and he's got a message to put across. And the lead singer, Dan Hogeson, who's from Copenhagen, Denmark, he did me the big solid, to sing the song for me. So not only is he my business partner and CEO of Denmark Music Group, he's an incredible lead singer who was signed to Sony Music. So it was one of those things where a dream came true for me, and it came true for a lot of us. And that's pretty much it. It's a song it's really deep. It's about the story of what a lot of musicians go through.
Born into Pain, this is John Seda. You are coast to coast and worldwide with me, Jesse Dillon, listening to The Good Life Revolution.
Here I am, waiting my turn for life without a to share my mother's pain. I feel my mother's pain. No choice, no choice, no choice. I'm born into pain. No choice, no choice, no choice. I'm about to live. Temptation will be my eternal fate. Like an empire's eternal damnation. I must overcome the pain to become stronger from my mother's mistakes. Oh, mother, you gave me no choice. Mother, hear my voice. Oh God, it's hard enough as it is. Why all the rock and dust? Born into pain. That's my fate. Born into pain. Born into pain. And that's my pain.
The Good Life Revolution.
The Good Life Revolution.
Now, more of The Good Life Revolution with award-winning host and best-selling author Jesse Dillon.
This is Jesse Dillon, your coast to coast and worldwide, dialed into The Good Life at goodliferevolution.com. John Seda is my guest today on some great radio stations throughout North America and, of course, online at goodliferevolution.com. John, we've been playing some of your music. We've been digging it, bro. This is very good. You are one of the founders of BornAMusician.com. Would-be musicians, singers, songwriters should go check it out and find out more. It's an incredible site with now 720 digital stores worldwide. BornAMusician.com. I want to talk a little bit about kids, parents, school, and music. Well, what's going on, first of all? What are you doing to help foster musical education, and is it drying up in our schools here in North America?
Well, unfortunately it is, especially in America. It seems to be a trend. They're cutting the school programs, which is funny about that is that they say they want to strengthen education, but it's proven that music makes kids more intelligent, and it makes them more, have better ethics, the strength and perseverance, so it doesn't make sense to me why they would want to cut this out if it's a positive thing. And I think what it is that, and this has happened to me before in other interviews that I've had in the past, where some people will joke about it and say that musicians are misfits, or where, I guess it's the whole rock and roll thing. They think that when you say music, it's all about rock and roll and the past. But the truth is that none of that is any true. I mean, one individual that makes a mistake in their music career doesn't mean that music is bad. And I think that's where they go with it. And I have studied this situation quite a bit, and that's why, I was inspired with BornAMusician, because I realized that there has to be, there are people that really care about music and care about what happens, and there are people that actually, especially in Florida, where I'm at, there's a lot of schools that they think that the government's putting up the money for these schools that teach music, and it's actually privately funded, and I actually, bow to that. Which I never knew at one point. I found out by talking to people that they say, no, but, this is people donating money to make this happen. And, we're talking about rich people, football players, baseball players, that, people of different backgrounds that have the financial wealth to do that. And the truth is that when these schools, that they have done that, there's been this, this excellence that comes out of it. So, BornAMusician, what we want to do in the future, and it all started with a vision that I had. It was called Teach the Dream, and it is still there. We have a website called teachdream.com. And at one point I thought I was going to turn it into a nonprofit, and I found out some not pleasant news about that. If you are a nonprofit, there are some stipulations about that go towards musicians that are, and I don't want to really bring that up, but it's something that wasn't pleasant, and I just realized that I decided not to do the nonprofit. I said, you know what, I don't want to go through all these rules and regulations to actually impede me to help music. So I decided to continue to do it without the help of that type of, in other words, of people donating money or anything like that. So what we're doing is that we came up with an idea afterwards, and that's where BornAMusician was born, where we could create finances, and from that finances, of course, our investors are taken care of, we're taken care of, but we're going to take a certain percentage of that money and put it back into the arts and in a positive way. And that's the vision of Teach the Dream. And what happened was, it came from a song that I wrote many years ago. I was approached by the Hillsborough Education Foundation to do a song for teachers, a tribute to teachers, because there was a lack of teachers at the moment, and they were missing 5,000 teachers that he needed to bring on board, and the situation is pretty much still the same. There's a lack of teachers in the United States, and what happened was that we created a song, and that's where it was born. And I realized that this was something that it was better to do it with music and showing accomplishments versus trying to get people to help, and then that they see that you're doing something positive, that you're doing it by example, then people follow and want to do the same thing. And that happens as far as the education in schools goes. There's a lot of facts, like, for example, how many surgeons, doctors are out there that play piano? Piano is one of the key instruments that actually teaches you how to read in two different clefs, which for me is like two different languages, to read at the same time, one on your left and one on your right. So you have to split your mind in two, and that actually makes your brain, function and be able to, digest things in such a way that when you start, going to, doing your regular studies, it just, your mind is more healthy. So not to mention the spiritual value of music, the fact that it does, it helps people that have certain impediments. Like, for example, many years ago, and I don't want to mention the musician's name because I don't, want to, but I worked with this famous musician one time, and he had a nervous tic, and so when you talk to him, he was like kind of shaking and stuff like that, and when he put on his guitar, all of a sudden it just went away. It was miraculous, and then you'd say, like, wow.
No, it's interesting. We find people that have had strokes that can't speak, but they can sing. It's really fascinating.
Right. And I've seen people that stutter, they can't speak, they have a hard time talking, but they get on their instrument and then they can sing. And it's like, wow.
More information on that can be seen at Teach the Dream?
TeachTheDream.com.
Okay, man. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
John Seda is my guest today. There's two websites you should visit, BornAMusician.com or Teach the Dream. And I want to play the track from Teach the Dream. Here it is on GoodLifeRevolution.com.
Good Life Revolution.
A division of GoodLifeNetworks.com. Health, lifestyle, finance, vital living. Today's thought leaders. Now, more of the Good Life Revolution with award-winning host and best-selling author, Jesse Dillon.